Hello, welcome. What a beautiful day, wherever you are. And welcome to Spear Point. This is another message for the masculine initiation because it feels like there is a turning point that is occurring within the collectives. So I want to open it up there and kind of let it kind of unravel. So there is a pocket that was kind of like opened up that I could see that's very, very common within the masculine energy stream. And it's in direct kind of relation to the feminine energy stream. So between the two collectives, between the two energy streams. So, and this has a lot to do with separation. It can happen. It's kind of like an automated procedure that takes place. Um, so with this unfoldment that is occurring, so like walking into the fire and purifying, and also coming into contact with some of these energies that are quite dense. A common theme is cutting it off. So when something horrific happens, you cut it off, right? You don't want to deal with it. So especially if it's to do with loss or tragedy or betrayal, and this can happen in the specific energies. So the masculine energy like holds quite a bit of that's been unprocessed and is holding it. And so walking through this process is going to open up a lot of those doors. So it makes complete sense that by opening that, it's going to be in direct kind of confrontation with your well-being in that moment. So your natural reaction can be to shut it out. And of course, in every instance, always trust your guidance, always trust your heart in every single instance. But specifically to do between the feminine and the masculine, one of the things that is, I think everybody can kind of relate to a certain situation with this by the love between the masculine and feminine. And it can be in any situation, like a friendship, romance, mother and son, you know, son and daughter, um, sorry, father and daughter, excuse me, um, brother and sister. When this kind of gets activated, it's like it's the union or the play between the energies that can hit a specific pocket. And when it gets uncovered or like brought back into the system, it's easy to feel it because it's like a co-creation between the energies. So when this gets brought into the system, that pain, that density, that hurt, those wounds, the blood of old can hit the energies and can hit your system, and then your protective system goes into overdrive. It's a natural reaction, it's a body reaction. What's interesting is when it's trying to figure out what happened because these are so old and they've been so dormant and sealed. That's the thing. These energies have specifically been sealed within the masculine energy stream in a pocket that has been forgotten about. Throw away the key. Don't ever touch it. Like I can feel it just now. It's kind of like it is old, forgotten energies, horrific, damaging. But they need to kind of be welcomed in to be transmuted and let go because they're always just going to sit there in the corner until you deal with them. And this feels very collective. This feels very old, ancient, forgotten energies. when this gets hit from the co-creation, a common reaction, which I think we can even relate this to the separation between unions, is that the masculine energy will then shut the door and fade away. And then you'll be like, where the fuck did he go? It's very, very common. It's a natural reaction because you're shutting it out and then you're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on because your energy is hitting new ground. It's coming in. You're digesting something old, something dense that hurts. So stability can be an issue. And if you're not stable to hold the energy, it would make sense because then you have to find some way to get stable. So you just shut everything out. This is really common and it actually pushes the feminine away. And um and it can actually like criticize the feminine as well because it's it is an energy that's kind of like can be very dense and but then your system goes into overdrive to try to figure it out. So any solution will do as long as you can put it back in the box. One of the ways that this all can happen and what I've experienced in the energies is kind of like so this can come up this natural reaction, you're digesting energies from old, the masculine energy like just on the other side of that like is more the pure essence of the masculine in a way that's like coming in. It's just on the other side of that, but you got to digest this these rotten gangrene wounds first and the energy associated with it because this can span lifetimes, millennia, through dimensions. I mean, this is old big stuff, and to hold it like actually feels like your system's destroying itself, like you're reliving it. So it's the PTSD, it's like in the energy, it's in the energy. So you're taking that in again because your system hasn't rectified it. But holding center, when that happens, if this natural reaction comes up to kind of like, it doesn't even have to be put back into the box. But if you're going to do this, one of the things that I realized that my system did was I felt that I could feel exactly what was going on. My system was trying to get stable. And then I was just like, okay, I'll go wander the desert. And that felt so familiar to me to go wander the desert. And it's kind of like you're doing that in the energy, going out into the void to find how this all fits into place. But you're alone. That felt old, familiar, comfortable. What was interesting is that it also felt like a detour. First time I've ever felt that. And what was brought to my attention is actually the rewiring of the masculine system, specifically to do when it's digesting these very dense parts, because it's going to become more frequent as we hit more and more of these energies and to hold center. And it's kind of like the jump in and out, it's okay. But one of the biggest things was you never do this with force, but one of opportunities to rewrite this whole thing is opening up to love and opening up to the feminine. So opening up to your internal feminine, opening up to the feminine collective, opening up to the women in general. Now, when I say that, it's not an action. You're not wanting anything in return. It's not a request. It's not a demand. It's simply opening up your energy to be seen in this process, but not asking for processing or help or demanding help from the feminine. It's simply being seen because that action of closing off is kind of like the self-protective mechanism. So It's simply opening up. And by doing that, you actually move the energy. You process it, you allow it to move. It's not, you're not giving it to the feminine to process, or the feminine collective, or the feminine energy. You're not giving it to them to process. You're opening up to be seen. This is a different way of doing things, especially when you hit these moments, because it's still yours. Whatever's yours to do is yours to do. So whatever that comes up, like, it still needs to be digested. You still need to come back home, but you don't have to shut out love in order to do it. It's like you still open up to love and you allow it to process. Because one of the big tricks, especially when you're dealing with dense energy, is that by doing that, you need to shut down in order to focus and do this. It's like you can continue to have that open, straight communication with source, with love itself, and digest this. And by opening up and continuing that conversation, it moves, because this is very, very old. This is very, very dense. This holds a lot of energy and a lot of hurt, a lot of hurt. And it's okay. And it's okay to be seen. That's it. It's okay to be seen. Even then, doesn't mean you're that. Doesn't mean you're the broken version of that. But by opening up and requesting nothing and expecting nothing in your own process, it actually changes, because your energy actually can continue and evolve and grow, and more of the pure masculine energy starts to come in, gets rooted deep. And you're rewiring the separation as well, because this is a very, very clear point where in every dynamic between masculine and feminine energy, this is a point where it does kind of like goes very far away, which if it's needed, it's needed. Like, it's not everything is, union, but when we're talking about love and like all that kind of stuff, when it's coming into embodiment, like, this can always be held, like love can always hold it, as long as you're open to it. So this was a really beautiful message. This came in kind of strong, but it was also feels like a real turning point in masculine energy on a new way of doing things. So, and I hope you like my new background too. So this is the trees. This is one of my oldest purchases for my first apartment. So anyways, I have sessions available. I'll link my Calendly in the description below. And if you feel called by the land itself in Durango, Colorado, reach out. I'd be happy to walk with you and introduce you. So that is still available. And we'll see what continues. Have a beautiful rest of the day. I mean, today is Mercury stations direct. I think Venus goes in retrograde. So the Mercury part feels significant to me. It's almost like the messages of Hermes are delivered. So I can definitely feel that. So we'll see what kicks off from that. So thank you. I give you love for whoever listens to this, and the celebration as this continues, as this opens up. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.